So Friday is Scripts Friday, and I'm going to take the opportunity to use Scripts Friday to work on our listing presentation today. Everybody okay with that? Thumbs up? Cool. Got a couple, so that's good because we're going to do it anyways. And if you've been to that, thank you, Maddie. If you've been to my 14-point listing presentation, I'm pretty sure we're going to go through steps 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'm only saying pretty sure because I don't have all of them memorized, but let's get started. All right. By the way, this is on YouTube. If you want to see all 14 steps, just go to my YouTube page and word for word, every script that is used in this presentation is also in my book. All right, so step 5 is your Kodak moment. It's make a great first impression. Now, what that means is dress professionally. Don't dress like I'm dressed today. Dress professionally, dress slacks, dress shirt, tie, jacket, whatever is appropriate for the appointment. You always want to dress professionally, but don't overdress so much so that you make the customer feel uncomfortable. Make a great first impression means show up on time. If your appointment is at 4 o'clock, show up at 4 o'clock, not 4:05, not 4:10. How you greet them at the front door is important. In other words, Laura answers the door. Hi, Laura. My name is John Dietz. We had an appointment at 4 o'clock and it's 4 p.m. May I come in? Script, write it down. Laura invites me in the home. I step into her home. The very first thing I'm going to do is, wow, I love your home and I'm super excited to be here. I'm also excited about the opportunity to help you sell your home. Embedded command. You're immediately assuming the listing is yours from the very first moment you walk in the door. Now, would you like me to take off my shoes? Simple question. Most people won't ask it. Ask. Now, if they answer the door and they're not wearing their shoes, don't ask. Just stop and say, I'm going to take off my shoes. Give me 1 second. And then what I would like for you to do is give me a tour of your home. So step 6 is tour the home. You're going to carry a notebook with you. It's in your hand. A pen is in the other hand and script. What I would love for you to do now, Laura, is to give me a tour of your home. Actually, I would love for you to give me a tour of your home and share with me everything that you love about your home. And the reason I'm asking you to do that is what we have found is the next buyer will buy your home for the same reasons you love your home. Now, as we tour your home, Laura, I'm going to take lots of notes. I'm pointing to my notebook as I'm doing this. I'm going to take lots of notes and I'm going to ask some questions because script. This is the information I'm going to use to help you sell your home. Second time that I've assumed the listing is mine. Now, as you tour their home, take notes out loud. That means beautiful hardwood floors, crown molding, vaulted ceilings, wow, gorgeous kitchen, granite countertops, maple cabinets, travertine floors, stainless steel appliances. I love your kitchen. Script, write it down. Note to you, love their home. This is not a time to point out anything that is wrong with their house. This is not a time to stage the property for them. This is the time to love their home. Remember the 3 questions that every seller is asking themselves about you, Cerise, from the moment you show up at the door. The 3 questions I'm asking are, can I trust you? Do you care about me? And do you know what you're doing? Your job is to convey to them that they can trust you, that you know what you're doing, and that you can help them. You don't do that by telling them everything that's wrong with their house. If they ask for staging advice, script, write it down. Once you've hired me, I will come back through your home and I will help stage your home, or I will provide a professional stager to go through your home and help stage the home for you. It's part of the service that I offer once you hire me, embedded command. Now, the tour ends at the kitchen table, and we're going to begin the conversation. That's step 7. We're going to do a needs analysis. That's step 8. We're going to prioritize those needs. That's step 9. And I'm abbreviating. Hopefully you guys are taking great notes. And I think that's as far as we're going to get today. What I was sharing with you yesterday during script practice was break this into groups, the conversation, and PDR, practice, drill, rehearse. Each part of the conversation until you've internalized that part, Chris, and then move on to the next. And I promise you, over time, you will have this down as well as I do, if not better. This is the same process that I use to list an average of 12 to 15 homes every single month for 15 years. So I promise you, Cerise, this works. All right, begin the conversation. Laura, I am so excited again to be here today. Thank you for this opportunity.
Can you see that part?
No, I'll play both parts. I'm just using names for the purpose of the conversation. Thank you for the opportunity. I'd like to start by sharing my mission statement with you. My mission is to meet your goals and exceed your expectations. Now, because of that mission statement, Cerise, when I meet with a potential seller, one of 3 things typically happen. One of those 3 things will happen today. Number 1, they hire me, which is awesome. Number 2, they may not hire me, and quite honestly, that's not so awesome. And the third thing that occasionally happens is I may choose not to list their home. Okay, now you're going to pause right there because that gives them an opportunity to ask, why would you not list my house? Stop for a second and think. The 3 things we're conveying. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Do you know what you're doing? If I'm willing to turn down the listing, Chris, can you trust me? The answer is yes. Do I care about you? Yes. And here's the bottom line. You see the reason, back to script. The reason that I would choose not to list someone's home is if I feel they have a goal or an expectation, Cerise, that I cannot meet or exceed, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. Now, the other thing I want you to notice is it was never about the seller until I got to the very end. I was speaking third party. One of 3 things typically happens when I meet with someone to discuss the sale of their home. Either number 1, they hire me, and that's awesome. Or number 2, they don't hire me, and quite honestly, that's not so awesome. And the third thing that occasionally happens is I may choose not to represent them in the sale of their home. Now, you see, the reason I would choose not to represent someone in the sale of their home is if I feel they have a goal or an expectation that I cannot meet or exceed. I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. Is that fair? What do you think they say?
Wow.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Because how many real estate agents do you think do this? Say almost no one. Are real estate agents attached to the outcome? Say yes. Do real estate agents pretty much list every single property they have the opportunity to list? Say yes. Are real estate agents willing to take a property that's overpriced just to put a sign in the front yard? Again, the answer is yes. It's a win-lose. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Win-win or no deal. It's part of our Y4C2Ts. And if I list somebody's home at a price that I know it's not going to sell, do they win? No. Do I win? 100% I do. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Because if I put a sign in their front yard, I'm going to get calls on that sign. Those are buyer calls. I'm converting to buyer appointments. I'm taking those buyers out, Cerise, and I'm selling them a home. So a real estate agent who is okay with win-lose is more than happy to take that property overpriced, because as long as they win, they're good.
So it's not a waste of your time.
It's not even that. I mean, you're right, but it has really nothing to do with whether or not this is a good use of my time or not. I'm in the business of creating raving fans. My goal is not to get a paycheck. My goal is that at the end of the sale, that customer would be so happy with the experience they had of selling their home with the Dietz team that they would never buy or sell another home again without talking to me first. My goal is that they are so happy with the service that I've provided them that if their friend or family members were thinking about buying or selling a home, almost out of obligation to their friend or family member, they would tell them, you need to talk to John first. I'm in the business of creating raving fans. And I can't create a raving fan if I don't meet their goals and exceed their expectations. How are we doing so far, guys? Okay? Doing good?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So let's pick up where we left off. Begin the conversation. We're going to transition into the needs analysis. So you see, Laura, if I feel that a seller has a goal or an expectation that I cannot meet or exceed, I would rather turn the opportunity down today than let you down 6 months from now. Does that make sense? And Cerise, in order to know if I can meet your goals and exceed your expectations, I need to ask you a couple of questions. Would that be okay? She said yes. All right, great. So first question, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not so great and 10 being awesome, what's one thing, not the one thing, really important, what's one thing that needs to happen in the sale of your home that would cause you to consider the experience a 10? Now, they're going to respond with, get my price, sell my home quickly. 2 most common answers, by the way. And there's others, but let's just say their response is sell my home quickly. Your response to that is, what does that look like? What does a quick sale look like to you, Chris? I need to have a contract within 30 days. And you're taking notes. You've got a legal pad sitting on the table and you're writing all of this down. You're demonstrating that you care about them. If you're not taking notes, you don't care about them. So, Chris, what does a quick sale look like to you? 30 days. Got it. What does that do for you? What's important about getting your home sold in 30 days? And you're going to hear whatever it is. They could be moving out of state for a new job, and the new job starts in 60 days and they're moving. Or they're buying a new home that's closing in 90 days and it's contingent on the sale of their home. That's pretty important, right? Now, if we can accomplish a second goal, such that this would be a 10 plus experience, what's something else? What's the next thing that needs to happen in the sale of your home that would cause you to consider the experience a 10? Script, write it down. Now they're going to respond with, let's say, get my price. Your response, what does that look like to you? What does the right price look like to you? And most of the time, they're going to give you a number. Occasionally, they're going to say, I don't know. And that's okay. Just move on to the next question. It's not a time to have a conversation. You are a detective. You're just collecting information. But let's say they say, get my price. And my response is, Laura, what does that look like to you? And Laura says, I want $500,000 for my house. Awesome. Laura, why is that important to you? Or well, boy, I can't talk this morning. What would that do for you? If you were to sell your home for $500,000, what would that do for you? Listen to what they say. I need the money in order to buy a new home. Okay, fair enough. You're collecting valuable information. Now, Aaron, if we could accomplish a third goal such that this would be a 10 plus experience, what's the third goal? He's going to answer, I'm going 3 deep. And then I'm going to ask if we could accomplish a fourth goal. What's the fourth goal? Keep asking until they run out of goals. You're taking time to find out what's important to them. It's a consultation. You're not selling and telling. And so far, have I said anything about why they should hire me, why Keller Williams is the best real estate company in the world, why anything about my resume? Have I said anything about any of that? Say no.
No.
What have I talked about? Them. Who do they care about? Them. Do you care about me? Can I trust you? What do you think? If I'm sitting at your kitchen table, Laura, do you feel like I care about you?
Yes.
Do you feel like you can trust me?
Absolutely.
There you go. Now, next step, prioritize the needs. We have 3 goals here, Laura. We have sell my home quickly. You said that was important to you because, you defined that by getting a contract in 30 days. And you said that was important because you're closing on a new home 90 days from now. Then you said the next goal was get your price. And you defined that by $500,000. And that was important to you because you need the money to buy the new home. Your third goal was you were looking for a real estate agent who would reduce their fee. And you mentioned that that was important to you because it would net you more money. And then I asked you if there was a fourth goal and you said, no, that was it. Cool. So Laura, and I'm pointing at the legal pad, guys, when I say this, if we could accomplish one of these goals and miss the other 2, if you had to choose one, what's the number 1 goal? They're not going to want to choose one. They're going to want to say, I want all 3. 3. There you go. They're going to say, I want all 3. And your response is bring them back. Consultation, if you had to choose one. And the reason I'm asking you this, Chris, is because there might come a time between now and the day you sell your house where you're going to have to make this decision. Which goal is most important to you? And it's better if we decide now because it's going to help us to market your home effectively in order to get these goals accomplished. Now, whatever they say, get my price. Okay, awesome. So if we were to get $500,000 for your home, and it took a little longer than 30 days to sell your house, maybe 45, maybe 60 days, and my commission was not negotiable. However, you got $500,000 for your home. Is that a 10? They might say no, because they might self-discover that price is really not the main goal. Selling their home in 30 days is the main goal. You might hear, well, no, that's not okay because I have to be in Atlanta in 90 days to start my new job. So if it takes 60 days to sell my house and I'm still here closing versus being in Atlanta in my new home, that's not okay. Then is it possible that selling your home in 30 days is the number 1 goal? And they're going, yeah, It is. Now, we've helped them self-discover that selling their home in 30 days is more important than getting $500,000. The wrong real estate agent wouldn't do that. The wrong real estate agent wouldn't even ask this question. And this could be critically important to getting their goals accomplished, because the wrong real estate agent might list their property at 525 because that gives room for negotiation and we can always come down later. But seller script, they only have a few. And at 525, it's not going to go under contract in 30 days. More than likely, 90 days from now, they're still going to be in their house. Now they have the tough decision of moving anyways and leaving the house vacant or postponing the new job. Maybe 495 was the right price. Maybe 499 was the right price in order to attract the right buyers, in order to get a contract in less than 30 days. And maybe at 499, we got multiple offers and actually sold the property for 510. So they got more than $500,000 and they got a contract within 30 days. So once you identify goal number one, move on to the next goal. Now, if we can accomplish two of these goals and miss the third, what's the second most important goal? Now you've prioritized your goals. You know what number one is, number two is, number three is. Trial close. If I could show you that I'm the right agent for the job, embedded command, I'm the right agent for the job in order to achieve these goals. Laura, would you hire me today?
Absolutely.
Cool, let's get started. All right, the next step is you're going to talk about your marketing plan and you're going to talk about service and you're going to go through a CMA and price their home. And that's step next. All right, talk to me. What did you guys hear?
It's about them.
It's about them. Love that.
John, what I always loved about this process, from the time that you told me to look Nikki Baldini up, is the fact that it wasn't this, well, you know, I sold 50 million homes. I'm the number one team person. My group does blah, blah, blah. It literally was to get more information, as they say, ask more questions in order to figure out how to assist and or help that person. That's what I loved about it.
What she said. Think about it like this, guys. If you went to the doctors, you've got a serious whatever, and you're meeting with a doctor to talk about a treatment plan. And the doctor spent the first 20 minutes telling you how amazing they were, their resume, everything that they've accomplished in their career. How do you feel about that?
Depends on the accomplishment.
Dude, I don't care. I honestly don't care. Matter of fact, I'm offended. I'm here. It's my life is on the line. I want to hear about me. What are you going to do to help me? They better be asking me questions about me, or I'm finding another doctor. Kim, talk to me.
I just heard it's really important what questions you ask, that you ask the right questions. It's not what are your goals in selling your home. It's what is one thing that's really important to you in selling your home. And that process of helping them discover what's most important is really it's a real communication skill that I haven't mastered. And I think it's just that's the difference right there in getting the listing and not.
100%. I agree, Kim. And you know, isn't it true, Kim, that until you've done this, nobody has done this with them. And they may not even know what their goals are until they go through this exercise with you. They think their goal is to sell their home for the most money, period.
Right.
It doesn't get any deeper than that. And you're helping them self-discover that there's goals they didn't even know that they had.
Hi, John.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Shirley. John, actually, I was going to say, as you're going through the process of, it's almost like digging deep, 3 levels twice.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing you go through that, honestly, reading it, I couldn't understand it, but hearing you go through it, now I see the system in it, if that's the word. So this was very helpful. Thank you.
Awesome. That's an aha for me, right? I could write it in a book and you're not going to get the same message. Thank you for sharing that with me. Shirley.
Totally agree with that statement. And also, once they self-discover, it allows me to know what I need to do first to meet their goal. And then the other two exceed that expectation.
There you go.
I'm clear. Why? Because they self-discovered. I didn't assume it was price. Once they break it down and eliminate, okay, this is the top one, then now I have something to measure by.
Love it. 100%, Shirley. Good job. By the way, it's the same conversation on a buyer consultation. It changes a little bit, but for the most part, if you YouTube Nikki Ubaldini's buyer consultation, Nikki, N-I-K-K-I, Ubaldini, U-B-A-L-D-I-N-I. If you YouTube her buyer consultation, you're going to hear me. Where do you think I learned this from, guys? I was on the Gary and Nikki team. And the buyer consultation is very similar. If we could accomplish one goal, such that this experience would be a 10, what would that be? Why is that important to you? What does that do for you? Describe, the one thing that's different is talk to me about the 5 things your new home has to have. These are deal killers. If your home doesn't have these 5 things, you're not buying the home. Now, when they say it has to have 4 bedrooms, you're not just going to write down 4 bedrooms. You're going to ask them, why is that important to you? What would that do for you? And you're going to hear possibly, well, I've got 2 kids and each of them need their own room because they're sharing a room right now and they're killing one another. So that's not good. And of course, I want a bedroom for me and my partner. And we need an office because I work from home. 4 bedrooms. Now, isn't it possible that a 3-bedroom home with an office would also work for them? And if you didn't ask that question when you were doing a search for properties that fit their criteria and you enter 4 bedrooms in the MLS search, is it possible that there's a 3-bedroom home out there with an office that would meet their needs and you would miss it because you didn't ask the question? Or they could say, I want a pool. And if you don't ask, what does that look like to you? What kind of pool are you looking for? Because to me, a pool might mean one thing where you are looking for an Olympic-sized pool that you can swim laps in. And I'm showing you lots and lots of houses and I keep hearing not the right one, not the right one, not the right one, not the right one. And maybe, finally, I'll ask you, what are we missing? Well, the pools are too small, John. They're too small because you didn't ask. Is this making sense, guys? Yeah, talk to me.
So I just did that on a buyer consultation, and one of them wanted a laundry room. Well, what does that look like to you? So my vision of a laundry room is space, a sink tub, and all of that. What they really wanted is right now they have to go to a laundromat. They just want to, if it has a hookup for a washer and dryer, they would be good.
Love that.
So, got to know what it means to them.
Brilliant. Shirley, I'm so proud of you. All right. Did you guys get value today?
Yes.
Good. Remember that there's a lot of value in mastering this conversation. A ton of value. And my big aha 20 years ago, when I went from selling 1 house the first 6 months and then 60 houses the next 6 months after that, was master your listing presentation, John. Because I realized that once I mastered my listing presentation, I would have the confidence to schedule more appointments. And once I mastered this presentation, I was unstoppable. Remember, if I can, you can. I'm not trying to impress you. Please don't be impressed. I'm trying to impress upon you. If I can, you can. All right, guys, I got something I want to chat with you about. We're going to get off live Facebook here. So give me 1 second.